Can an indie game developer with zero experience in music production turn this into something more suitable for PvP auto battler? So, you've downloaded FL Studio, you're staring at the screen, and every YouTube tutorial feels like it's speaking another language. Sound familiar? That was me. I bought this software years ago and gave up almost immediately. But now, I have a game that needs a soundtrack. So, I'm diving back in, but with my secret weapon, Google's Gemini AI. I'm using it as my music production coach to guide me through the problems I face, instead of struggling with another tutorial. My musical experience is basically zero, so this is a real test. My mission is to create two connected tracks, a chill tavern theme and an epic battle version of it. We are going to see if an AI can turn a complete beginner into game music composer. I started with a simple guitar track. This sounded like a solid foundation, but it was also incredibly boring. Writing simple chords is pretty much all I knew how to do. So, how do you take something this robotic and make it actually sound like a human is playing it? I asked the AI that exact question. It told me the guitar usually provides the rhythm, and to make it human, I should break up the block chords and vary the velocity. After a few iterations of this advice, my track sounded much better already. The foundation was set. My next prompt was about building on this. What instruments should I add for a tavern feel? The AI suggested a classic folk setup, a flute for the melody, a cello for bass, and some light percussion. I started with a flute and immediately ran into a huge problem. When I played them together, it sounded completely wrong. Instead of a cheerful tavern, it was dark and ominous. I had followed the steps, but the results were terrible. I was totally stuck. Was my ear for music just that bad? Or was there some hidden music theory rule I was breaking? I explained the problem to the AI. It analyzed my notes and told me the song was in minor key, which sounds sad or serious. To get a cheerful vibe, I needed to be in major key. It walked me through transposing everything. The mood was completely changed. With the main harmony finally fixed, I added some simple cello bass line it suggested and some light percussion. I now had a complete 8-bar loop that sounded pretty good, but just looping that over and over would get boring really fast. So, how do you structure a simple loop into a full professional sounding piece of menu music? The AI's advice was simple. Create an intro by starting with just one instrument and gradually layering in the others. The track feels like it's building naturally. I started with just the guitar for 8 bars, then brought everything else in. This created the final menu theme. Now for the hard part, turning that chill tavern tune into intense battle music. My prompt was direct. How do I make this intense and messy? The first step was to transform the guitar into something more aggressive. But the real challenge was the melody. A cheerful flute just doesn't scream epic battle. I could just replace it, but then I would lose the connection to the main theme. So, how do you make a melody feel intense and epic, while making sure the player still recognizes it from the menu music? The AI suggested a brilliant strategy. Keep the original flute melody, but make it very quiet, like a faint memory. Then introduce a new, more powerful instrument to play the lead. I chose the grand piano, but just playing the same simple melody on piano was still really boring. I asked the AI how to make a piano part sound truly epic. It taught me about layering, and the layered piano became the heart of the battle track. The final piece of the puzzle was the drums. A simple tambourine wasn't going to cut it. But what actually makes a drum beat sound epic versus just being a normal beat? I swapped out the small percussion for majestic sounds. deep orchestral kicks, powerful snares, and big cymbals. I layered everything together, and this was the final result. So, I did it. From a simple loop to a complete thematic score. The AI never wrote a single note for me, but it acted as the perfect guide. It filled in the knowledge gaps and let me focus on the creative side. If you're a developer like me who's been scared to jump into music production, maybe this is the way. Thanks for watching.